Hey guys, welcome to Code with Bo. My name is Alec Bo. Today's going to be the first video in our Intro to Swift series. Swift is going to be the language that you use to write iPhone applications, Mac applications, iPad applications, watch applications. It's Apple's native language. It's pretty cool, pretty fun, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to cover some of the basics today. So, as always, whenever learning a new language, we always want to start with our Hello World program. And so we're going to use the print function, which we declare with the word print. We're going to pass it a string that says Hello World. We're going to put that in the parentheses, and we're going to go ahead and print that like so. And so now you can see that we're ready to go. And real quick, before I go any further, in order to get to this screen right here, this is a playground. And so what you're going to do is you're going to double click on Xcode, right? And then whenever it opens up, it's going to be asked if you want to make a new project, start a new playground, or clone an existing project. You're going to hit start a new playground, and then you can just save it. You'll have to give it a name, and then you'll save it wherever you want. I typically choose my desktop. I prepared this before I started this video simply because it'll help me stay on track. Sometimes I can start to ramble, and this will help me stay, on what I planned on. But yeah, so that's how you go ahead and you get to this right here. So let's go ahead and get started with the first thing we're going to learn today, and that's going to be how to declare constants and how to declare variables. And so what's the difference between a constant and a variable? A constant can't be changed after declaration, but a variable can be changed after declaration. And so this is known as constant is an immutable type, and a variable is a mutable type. And so you can see right here where we declared a sample constant, let my constant equals 40. Whenever you declare constants, you always use the let keyword. And I can show you right now that if I try to change this value after the fact, I'm not even going to run it because boom, cannot assign to value. My constant is a let constant. So yeah, no sir, not happening. But with the variable, you can see where I declared it with this var keyword. So it's the var keyword, the name of the variable, and then this is optional right here. This part that I'm highlighting, that is if you want to explicitly declare the data type. And in this case, I did explicitly declare the data type. I said that this variable named my variable is going to be an integer, and I assigned the value of 40 to my variable. And with these, you are able to redeclare the value of a variable. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to print that. And you can see where it says 39. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to comment this out for now. And you can also see that you use the double backslashes to write your comments. And so let's see, let's go ahead and delete this. You don't have to initialize a variable whenever you first declare it. You can just do a simple declaration where you declare that it's a variable, the name, and the type, right? So you can see that this one was declared but not initialized. If I wanted to initialize it, I could go boom 40.1, and then we have now initialized it. But we're just going to simply, I'm just showing this so you can see that you don't always have to initialize your constants or your variables whenever. You do have to do the constants, but you don't always have to initialize your variables. You can simply just declare them to get started. But let me show you what it looks like to simply declare a variable without explicitly declaring the data type. And so all you do is you simply take out the colon and the name of the data type, and you go straight to the assignment operator and the value you want to initialize your variable with. And so that is perfectly fine to do. All right. And there are, we're going to go over the 4 standard data types in Swift today. So you have your integers, which are just going to be your whole numbers. You actually have your floats, right? Your floats are going to be your decimal numbers, positive or negative. And then you have your doubles. And doubles are your decimal numbers that are really, really, really big or really, really, really small, as in really, really, really negative. Um, we'll work with those more so in the future, whenever we do a little bit of more complex activity and we need that extra space to be used for them. And we'll just work with floats for the time being. And then you also have your strings, which are just a string is just an array of characters. So this is a single character, 2 characters, 3 characters. The space is another character. This 9 is a character. This dash is a character, and a string is an array of all those characters. So I can put sup fam, what's going on? And this is perfectly valid. I'm going to go ahead and print that to the string, to the screen. And you can see that everything is a-okay. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. All right. And so let's say you wanted to print a variable to the screen, right? So if I have this variable number of cheese sticks, which is an integer of 4, meaning I have 4 cheese sticks, if I print that to the screen, right, I'm going to go ahead and print. It's just going to print the number 4. And that doesn't really give me that much information about what's going on. It could be 4 cheese sticks. It could be 4 breadsticks. It could be 4 fish sticks. There's all sorts of things that it could be. So what we want to do is we want to print those values together. We want to print it with a little bit more context. And so we use the print function. We have the I have number the however many amount of cheese sticks we have, cheese sticks. And the reason that this is going to work is because we used this syntax right here. This is called an escape character. So we used an escape character and we put the value that we want to display to the screen in the parentheses adjacent to the escape character. And so that's going to make this execute right here. So you can see where I now have 4 cheese sticks. We have a little bit of clarity on the situation provided. So I hope that cleared up some confusion on if they were cheese sticks or breadsticks or fish sticks. But I'm going to go ahead and show you another example. We're going to use myvar this time. We're going to say print. I have escape character slash myvar. Close the parentheses, and you see how whenever you close the parentheses, it changes colors and it lets separates it from the rest of the string. Cheese sticks now. We're gonna go ahead and print that. And so you see we started off with 4 cheese sticks, but now we have 40. We have 10 times the amount of cheese sticks we had before. It's a lot of cheese sticks, but we're gonna go ahead and save those for later and move on with the rest of the tutorial. And so that is one way to print a value with a little bit of context to the screen. Another way to do it is to use data type conversions. Exciting. And so you simply declare a string right here. So you can see where we just declared a constant. Let label equals the height is with a space. You always want to include that space if there's going to be something following it. And so height is 64. And we're going to put them together in a constant called height label. And so we can't do that with these 2 different data types, right? Because we have a string right here and we have an integer right here. So what we need to do to the integer is convert it to a string. And all we need to do that is simply add the height as an argument, or then our variable, or our constant or whatever it is to an argument to the string function, and that'll convert that. It'll make a copy of it in a string form. And so after that, we use this plus right there to concatenate this string with this string. And then we'll be able to print that to the string or to the screen. And that process of using the plus sign to add two strings together is called string concatenation. And you can see right here where everything works out A-OK. All right. And so before we move on to arrays, let's just do a quick review. We talked about declaring constants with the let keyword. We talked about declaring variables with the var keyword. We talked about optionally declaring the data type explicitly. We also talked about implicitly declaring a variable. And then we talked about printing to the screen using this notation. Print. This is how we can print a variable like and so we talked about using this notation to print, and then we also talked about doing conversions and then string concatenation to print to the screen. Alrighty, and so now we're going to move on to the last topic, which is arrays. And I'm just going to introduce you to arrays and one basic method that you can use on arrays. In the next video, we'll take a deeper dive into them. And so right here, we've declared and initialized a simple array. And this array is just going to hold strings of the names of some of my favorite rappers. And I just want to clarify that these are my favorite rappers, not necessarily the rappers that I think are the best of all time, except for probably Lil Wayne and debatably Young Thug. But, you know, that's for a separate YouTube video. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and print this to the screen. Alright, and so you can see where it prints the list. Now that's pretty cool, but what if I only wanted to print the Lil Wayne? What if I only wanted to print the first rapper in the list of my favorite rappers? I would use what's called index notation. And so you access individual elements by passing their index between these two brackets around the name of the array. And so you're saying, well, why is the index 0? When if it's the first element, why wouldn't you pass 1? And that's because indexing starts at 0. And that's pretty standard with most programming languages. So this value is actually represented by the index 0. This value is represented by the index of 1. And this value is represented by the index of 2. And so you can see to where it's kind of to estimate the position or the index of the value you're trying to access, it's going to be n minus 1, where n is the position, and then minus 1 brings it down to the actual index. So if I wanted to access the first position, it would be 1 is n minus 1, and that's going to equal 0. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to print that. Alright, just to show you the rest. And then boom. So you can see where you printed each element in the list by simply accessing the index. Something else you can also do is you can change specific indexes. So let's say, do you know what? I kind of like Killa Cam more than I like Young Thug. And let's say I want to go ahead and change that. And so we can. And then, so what we're doing right here is we're saying the value at index 2 is now going to be equal to Killa Cam. And we're going to go ahead and print fave rappers. We'll print the whole list just so I can show you. and you can see where Young Thug is no longer on the list. But hold up. I still like Young Thug. I actually like him a lot, and I want him to stay on this list. So what I would do is I would use the append function, right? And I would simply, so you have the name of the list, dot append, and then you have these parentheses right here. And what it's telling us is that we're missing an argument. And the argument that you pass is going to be added to the end of the list. And then we're going to go ahead and print fave rappers. And you can see where Young Thug is back on the list of my favorite rappers, exactly where he belongs. And everything is a-okay. Killer Cam is there too. We've still got Lil Wayne and Lil Uzi. They're all hanging out, having a great time being a part of my favorite rappers array. But that's going to be the basic introduction to Swift. I just kind of wanted to get y'all's feet wet a little bit. Like I said, in the next video, we're going to explore arrays a little bit more deeply, show you some other cool things you can do with them. But as always, if you like this video, want to see more, subscribe to the channel. Give me a like if you at least liked what you saw. Give me a comment. Tell me things that you liked specifically. Tell me things you thought I could have done better. At the end of the day, I'm here to help you, and I want to improve my ability to help you. And I can only do that if I'm given feedback. So anything is appreciated. But this has been Code with Bo. I'm Alec Bo. Hope you learned something new, and thanks for watching.